You know what, family? You know what? We've actually learned a whole lot this year. And I've also learned something too in this Hurricane Milton. And this is about the American people. And this is as a whole, if you want to do your book report, but as a whole. And I'm just talking about not just Floridian, but it just fell on the Floridians. And I'm not saying 100%, but the majority. The majority of people that I've actually seen I've seen a lot of videos in the last couple of days, and a lot of people who's on the A, zone B, zone C, D, and whatever. I've seen a lot of people that said they didn't have enough money to move out the way. And oh God, I heard a lot of people that saying they had to just paid rent. Where were they going to go? I heard a lot of people that was saying they didn't have enough money to put gas in their tank, or they just filled their tank up and they didn't want to sit on the highway. They didn't want to sit on the highway for hours and then have to come back home and then have to have gas for the remaining of the week. I've heard a lot of stories, and that's kind of sad, because that lets me know that we're not really living the American dream. And I thought the American dream was actually to have a house, to actually have money in the banking account. To live, just blow money, but just have money during a drought where you should be able to move out the way when there's a catastrophe. A lot of people didn't have a lot of money to move. They didn't even have enough money to even go to a hotel room. A lot of people, I know a lot of people just say, you know what, we're just going to thug it out. We're just going to go to Lowe's and we're just going to get boards and we're just going to do certain things. I understand that. But when it comes to life situations, because I just had this conversation, I said it's kind of sad that people would thug it out and they would just risk it. And I know that there's a lot of Floridians and we're just used to tornadoes and we're used to storms and stuff like that. I'm just saying, but at some point, when do we actually say, okay, let's just push everything aside. My life matters. And I'm just saying, I just learned so much in these last couple of days of saying people didn't have a lot of money. People didn't have a lot of money to do a lot of things. And that's something that you should just kind of be concerned about. That times have really changed. Times have really changed. People was concerned about their food and electricity because they just went grocery shopping. And I know a lot of people didn't want to, it's just like it was just such a concern. I'm like, God, it's almost kind of like we're just a couple of steps from a third world country. It's kind of sad. And I know we have housing, but what's the sense of having a house when you're basically being broke in it, when you're just broke? And now these people are back. And like I say, you can't judge nobody. You can't judge no book by its cover. You can't really judge a person where they live at, because everybody's basically kind of like in the same boat. I don't care if they're living out there on Siesta Key or on Lockwood Ridge or wherever, the Meadows. Everybody's basically living the same way. Their house may be $400 and $500, maybe $1 million. But if you don't have no money to go on to the next town over, or go to a hotel, or you just don't have it like that, I don't think you know better than anybody else. That's why I say we're all in the same boat. Nobody's no better than anybody else. Yeah, that's the point that I wanted to make. It's very concerning.